Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Muhammad Syahmi bin Muhammad Shukri and I am a final year student for Bachelor of Maritime Management from University Malaysia Terengganu. The title of the study that I conduct is a study on green performance criteria for sustainable port in Malaysia, and I focus on Port Klang. While conducting this study, I was assisted, monitored and under the supervision of Maiden Wan Mariam binti Wan Abdullah. Firstly, introduction. Marine ports are important economic node as well as a big polluters. Huge ships with engines that run on diesel fuel available, thousands of diesel trucks visit per day, miles long diesel locomotive hauling cargo and other polluting equipment and activities at marine port all contribute to a slew of environmental issues that can have serious consequences for local communities and the environment. Major port in Malaysia initiated green port policy since 2014. Next, Port Klang is one of the port in Malaysia that won the Green Port Award of APEC Port Service Network APSN and ranked 12th in the Global Port Arena worldwide in year 2020. Green initiative programs by Port Klang such as solar energy conservation, investing in more energy efficient and environmentally friendly cargo handling fleets, monitoring carbon, paperless transaction, creating waste management, standard operating procedure and others. Next, we move to problem statement. Studies on environmental impact of port operation are diverse. Most of the researchers focuses on pollution sources. In addition, many port authorities propose green guidelines and require users, such as calling ships, to follow their green operational measures to reduce pollution. However, there seems no comprehensive model to be formulated for evaluating the green performance of a port. Secondly, few studies investigate how a port can choose environmental control measure based on the important priority of green port criteria. And lastly, difficulty of port authority to implement all action to achieve green port status. Thus, selection of the prioritized criteria will help port authority to manage the implementation to gradually fulfill the green status. There are two research objectives of this research innovation. Firstly, to identify green port performance criteria based on the previous study, and secondly, to measure green port performance of Port Klang, Johor Port and Port of Tanjung Pelepas. For literature review, according to the suspect ETR 2018 characteristic of green port, a green port is a port that not only satisfies environmental criteria but also promotes social and economic objectives, and it also described as the result of a long-term plan for the construction of port infrastructure that is both sustainable and environmental benign. Secondly, Satirthi 2019 characteristic essential development of ecoport. Ecological port or ecoport, sometimes known as a green port, is an essential development approach that protects marine aquatic life and ecosystem. It offers business knowledge on ecological sound practice and corporate responsibility centered on maritime, port and terminal, including shipping, transportation and logistics. Thirdly, Butcher and Collin 2016 characteristic level of success of a green port. The green port had to consider the economic and environmental benefits instead of viewing environmental protection as a cost. It paid attention to environmental protection, the friendly development of ecology, saving resources and energy, strengthening environmental management and constructing ecology port, as well as promoting harmonious relationship between nature, economic and society in sustainable development, which means that the green port had to reach a certain level of success. Next, Chambulat 2014 characteristic green port indicators. Green port indicators may be used to successfully enhance the port overall sustainability performance.
Among the list was fuel spilling contingency plan, solid waste dumping management, liquid cargo spilling control and prevention, ballast water pollution prevention, and others. Next, 2014 characteristic green port criteria: hazardous waste handling, water pollution, air pollution, water consumption, energy usage material selection, habitat quality maintenance, port staff training and community promotion, and education are some necessary criteria for the green port performance. Next, Bouchard and Cologne 2016 characteristic port environment. Green port should be complete and structural coupled port that integrates social, economic, environmental, and other variables. Moreover, green port advocate for social stability, civilization, quick economic development, and harmonious environment. And lastly, Jagan-Jevan et al. 2022 characteristic main green port criteria Port Klang. Environmental quality, energy and resources use, waste handling, habitat quality and greenery are critical influencing factors required for establishing green port hub status, and that port competitive is the most significantly affected by green port operation, sustainable equipment, resources management, and cost efficiency at seaport.
For methodology, analytic hierarchy process AHP introduced by Sati 1977 is a decision support approach that was designed to solve issues by breaking them down, categorizing them, and then arranging them in a hierarchical framework. Putra et al. 2018, this approach involved a comparison of criteria combined with a predetermined measuring scale to identify priority criteria. The relevance of using AHP methodology in conducting and continuing research is to identify the most important criteria and prioritize the performance criteria for achieving greener status. Fuzzy AHP will be used to identify the relative importance of green port criteria. For the target population, 2 officers from executive level with working experience of more than 5 years, each from Port Klang Authority, Port Klang North Port and West Port, Marine Department, and Environmental Department of Port Klang.
For result and discussion, firstly, the interest of respondent in linking the sewage treatment may be due to the fact that sewage treatment is a sort of wastewater treatment that tries to remove impurities from sewage in order to generate effluent appropriate for disposal to the surrounding environment or reuse, eliminating water contamination from raw sewage discharge. Secondly, the finding of the study show that wetland and marine habitat preservation as the second most important sub-criteria that were chosen by the respondent because refer to the role of a wetland as a critical component of the natural system that provide enormous benefit to coastal ecosystem and population. Wetland play a role in supplying the clean water, flood protection, and plentiful fisheries as a function to protect and preserve environmental sustainability. Wetland and marine habitat preservation can help to protect marine aquatic or habitat rather than being in a state of danger and extinction due to the port and shipping operation that are increasingly thriving in line with current trend. And lastly, the next wide sub-criteria is ecological preservation and environment protection and training. The term preservation and conservation are sometimes used interchangeably. However, the two ideas are not the same. Conservation is to appropriate use to natural resources that safeguard the environment, while preservation safeguard the environment against destructive human action. For example, protecting the ocean would entail long-term ocean cleaning techniques to reduce pollution and harm.
For the conclusion, in the urge of greener port status with limited resources and time, it will be difficult for port to fully implement all greener requirements for constructing facilities and operational activities. AHP and Fuzzy AHP help Port Authority to choose the important factor as a priority implementation item. This technique provides a good solution for helping decision makers to determine the best criteria and sub-criteria in ensuring that a port is developed and sustainable.